Shane wanted to raise a certain topic.
Let's just say this first. First, I did kind of look at this as a topic just for
Sports.
sport.
Yeah.
But then obviously looking at it, I didn't. Obviously, it's a broader conversation. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you want to introduce the topic?
you can introduce it. You know,
We were talking about the poppy, which
if you guys don't know,
in England. Do you want to introduce what the poppy is and what it signifies?
basically, yeah. So if you're not from the United Kingdom, majority of British culture, and it's funny because people tend to have they have an issue, even if they're British, to say what British culture is. But one of the founding things that definitely contributed to British culture and what it is to be true British was World War One and World War Two, because of, I think, post World War One and post World War Two, there was a whole different set of humans that came off that, and their mindset then shifted. Because if you look at, you're a big fan of literature, if you look at the way the United Kingdom was and their attitude towards everything was shifted completely after World War One and then subsequently.
Like what?
So, for example,
Actually, before you get into that, sorry, continue and explain about the poppy, because you haven't even actually explained about the poppy.
Yeah, cool. So World War One and World War Two has a big impact on the United Kingdom, and historically has always had. And during the war, I think it's No Man's Land. I think that's what they call it. When the territory which divided the Germans and the Brits, when the soldiers would die there, obviously is the poppies that grew in that stretch of land. And to remember the death of many, as a, I want to say, token, they had a poppy, the death, life, and the poppy was there as a symbol to remember those who died on this land, who died in this field, in the eyes of Brits, for our greater good, for the greater good of the United Kingdom moving forward. That's what they would say.
Yes. Yeah.
And the poppy was just a symbol of that.
Yeah.
So and every November, I'm not sure why it's November. It could be just.
I think it's probably Remembrance Day, or it's probably significant to the end of the war or something like that. But it'll be some significant date.
I know Christmas is very important because I don't know if you know, after the first Christmas they played football on that stretch of land as well.
Yeah.
But they basically wear poppies in the United Kingdom in November to remember those who.
And every year the same controversy comes up, just like how every year when it's Black History Month, someone says, "Why do we have a Black History Month? We don't have an Asian History Month." Or some black people say, "Why is my history only denigrated to a month?" And we have the same conversation every year, and I find it cumbersome and boring, to be honest with you. But
1,000,000%.
But in the same way, this conversation comes up every year because certain people don't wear the poppy, and you can't even appear on the BBC or on TV. Like if you turn up to BBC Studios, talk about economics or the weather or something like that, not the weather because you'd be there every day, but someone that's there as a guest, they will just have poppies that they just put on you. Everybody will be. I was watching Question Time on Thursday, everyone was wearing the poppy. It's just one of those things.
It's even more of a conversation now because of what's happened in the United Kingdom and the whole situation around immigration and the conversation.
Why has it? Why has that? What's the link between a conversation of immigration and the poppy? I don't understand.
Being true British, being British, and people who are British feel like if you're coming to this country, that's something you have to wear. Even if you're coming from a country that you may have actually been fighting against. You know what I'm saying? But you 100%, if you're coming from a country and you're coming...
I didn't know that. I'd not heard this.
That's what the whole Matic thing was.
I don't know about the Matic thing either.
All right.
I know about James McLean. He's Irish. Mm-hmm. Do you know about the history of Ireland?
Of course.
So he's from the Republic of Ireland, not from... Oh, no, he's from the north. He's from Derry. So, and he said that where he's from in Derry, he's got cousins and stuff that were killed in some of the Troubles. That's what they call them, the Troubles. But that's where British soldiers were killing some of the people that he considers to be his people. And so he refuses to wear. This has been years. This is years ago. But he was one of the first people that I remember in terms of footballers. But what's the Matic situation?
Certain people, they come from countries.
But when was this? Because Matic isn't in England anymore. Is this year or is this previous years?
The Matic situation was when Matic was at United.
Okay, yeah.
And Matic didn't wear the poppy because he had family who was on the other side of the United Kingdom. His family directly were against the British.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to remember soldiers that helped kill my family.
Correct.
And there's people who also come to this country where immigration is so important, is because, as you obviously know, adopting this so-called British culture is now something that you should do once you come to this country. If you come to
I literally did not know that was a thing.
So you didn't know that people... Wow, that's mad.
I didn't know that this was a conversation people were having.
About people adopting British and accepting British culture when they come over to this country.
Do you mean British like values or British like what do you mean? What is British culture? What do you mean?
Well, this is the topic. This is the conversation, because
the British culture topic to me is different to the poppy topic.
Why?
Because culture is a meaningless word. It's culture is always evolving. So what the culture is today is not the culture of tomorrow.
Would you say tradition is linked to culture?
It can be, but not always.
In the situation of poppies, would you say
that tradition is linked to the culture?
Okay,
yes.
So
which is why I don't wear one.
So if you come to this country, and you're and you're benefiting from the country itself in any way, shape or form, the values, the tradition and the culture, you should also pick up as well. That's an argument that has been made.
But what argument are you making? Because you're on the podcast. Those people aren't on the podcast.
No, you are asking me to introduce the topic.
No, but we've been live for 5 minutes now. So let's get to the meat of the conversation.
So in my opinion, I don't understand why people who are against I understand why people personally don't wear the poppy. I'll be honest.
Do you wear it?
I would wear a poppy. 100%.
Do you wear it?
I don't go out of my way to wear it, but if it was there, I'd wear it.
If you're walking through the train station, that's the video I posted on my Instagram. The woman's from GB News. GB News is a right-wing extreme news broadcast, so I'm dubious of her story in the first place. But she said she's walking through Liverpool Street Station. There are the people there. You give them £1, whatever change you've got. It goes to the veterans, and you get a poppy. Would you pay for one? And you would do that. I wouldn't wear a poppy.
I would if they were down and go out my way.
I don't disrespect them. I'm not like fuck you lot, piss off. I'm not rude to them. I'm just a conscientious objector. I'm not against English people or British people or any people wearing the poppy if they so choose.
Now here's the thing. Anybody, and this I'm gonna say, if you know me, you know I'm not Uncle Tom. I'm firmly against. This is what I was talking about with football, but I'm firmly against any form of Black Lives Matter. Firmly against that. I do not stand for that. Nor I'm firmly against when they bring in players who have to wear like rainbow symbols. Not because I'm against. Do your thing, it's your thing, but I don't like when there's a crossover. I don't feel like
a crossover between what? Football and politics?
Or sport and social issues. I don't feel like that should be...
Social issues or politics?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I don't feel like that.
But you're about to make an argument as to why the poppy is different.
Yeah, 100%.
So you're not firmly against social issues?
No, because this isn't a social issue.
Well, it is for some people.
No, it's not.
But it is for some people.
No, it's not. When you're doing Black Lives Matter, or when you're doing
LGBT stuff, yeah.
You're talking about the advancement and progression of what said community, raising awareness for that said community. These are people that are dead. So it's completely different. This is not a growing community. Yes, that's what poppies are about, bro. The poppies are about World War I.
Where does the money go?
The goes towards... I don't even know.
I'm about to tell you.
I don't even know.
I'm about to tell you. It goes towards helping support veterans who are not dead but are still alive.
Okay.
So that is a captured community.
Yeah, but that's different, bro.
Why is it different?
Because these are veterans who are, I presume, struggling. I would hope to think that they're struggling. and they require aid
Yeah.
from the people.
Yeah.
And you're living in a land that they help to free. So I feel like you should
Free from who?
Remember, this is the idea of what.
I'm not talking about idea. I'm talking about the facts. Free from who? Who do they free this land from?
Well, obviously they weren't free.
Okay, so it's not. So they didn't free the land. I'm just getting it accurate.
If England had lost the war,
Yeah.
the country that we see today wouldn't be the way it is. Can we agree with that?
Correct.
Because they won the war, the country is the way it is. Can we agree with that?
In part, yes.
Okay, so the same thing that you're currently living in and that you're happy to live in and you're thankful for, because if you wouldn't be here.
Okay, go on.
Leave.
Yeah, go on.
These people contributed towards that.
Yes.
And I feel like contributing to those people who contributed to where we are right now, and I feel like I have no problem contributing towards them. Nothing whatsoever. It's so different for LGBT and Black Lives Matter.
You keep bringing up, I don't want to talk about LGBT people. I don't care about those people.
This is so different because we're talking about people of...
I haven't made the argument. I agree. But it's different.
then for me, I have no... And I'm not saying you have a problem with the fact that I do, but I have no problem wearing a poppy.
For me, I look at... I don't have an issue with any individual soldier. The majority of soldiers that died, as you said to me off camera, are working class people.
Facts.
And I am a working class person. I do have a problem with the system of the British Army and a lot of what they do and a lot of what they represent. So I will not wear anything that either represents or supports or in some cases even glorifies the British Army in any way, shape or form.
I don't think, and this is probably where we're different.
Yeah.
I don't think when you wear a poppy, it has anything to do with British Army as an institution.
I definitely think it does.
I don't think it does.
I definitely think it does.
The reason why in fact, I'm going to let you speak for yourself. The reason why I don't think it does is because when we talk about the British Army and
allied forces as well.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
When you look, let's just talk about the British Army, but allied forces 100%. When you look at the reason why a lot of people went to war, specifically in World War II, like World War II was even worse, but World War One is where they normally wear the poppy for, but specifically in World War II, it was, for me, I actually felt like the British Army manipulated the soldiers. So there was already a class division between British Army and soldiers.
It's one of the things I don't like about the British Army. Yeah, it's nepotism. If you are from a rich family, you go in at colonel or general level.
Exactly.
For sure, yeah.
They made the people feel like that you were less of an individual if you didn't fight.
Correct.
And one of the reasons why I feel like the poppy is very different is because the people that died is the people that's being remembered. The people that died wasn't like the colonels or people at the top. The people that died is the people that's being remembered, which is normally the working class people.
Yeah.
That's why I have no problem, because I see a massive disparity between the British Army and British
The British
soldiers.
Army as an institution and the soldiers.
Me, personally. But I do agree.
I see a gap between them, but not a massive gap. The British soldiers must in some way support the British Army to sign up to be in the British Army.
100%.
So on that basis, I'm not supporting them. Do you know what the Paris liberation was?
No, I don't.
In 1944, the war ended in 1945, but in 1944, a large group of black soldiers was key in driving the Nazis, and you can Google the Paris liberation, I'm not making it up, to driving the Nazis out of Paris and liberating Paris and France from Nazi rule. The British Army called back, they were going to have a celebration to celebrate, they called back the black soldiers and replaced them with white soldiers that were not fighting in this battle, specifically, in their words, not mine, specifically so that the first faces that the French could see when they came out to parade were white faces. They wanted it to feel like a white victory and not a black victory. There are many stories like that. So on the basis of that, and that's not just something I'm interpreting to be about race, that's their words, not mine. I do not support that institution. And unfortunately, if you are a part of that institution, you are upholding that institution. So even if you're not doing it on purpose, I've got a friend who's a police officer and he upholds the corruption that happens within the police. Every day that he doesn't fight against the police force or doesn't report a little crime or this, that and the third, you are part of that system, whether you like it or not.
You're 1,000,000% right about that. And you already know from an institution perspective, and like when we talk about Winston Churchill and all that, I'm firmly against British Army. Like, I don't have, we can talk about this in a whole nother debate, but like, I'll just say research Haile Selassie's speech at the United Nations. But
that's only one story. You know, many of our viewers that are not Caribbean may not know, but you will know that lots of the Caribbean soldiers only went to fight because they were offered citizenship.
Facts.
And when they came back...
My grandfather he didn't go though.
And when they came back, a lot of them, they reneged on the offer and said, we're not giving you the citizenship. We promised you we would, but now we've won.
They were literally taking, in the Caribbean, they were literally picking up soldiers or people, because they weren't even soldiers yet. They weren't even soldiers.
Random brothers.
Come to fight.
And those people were only in the Caribbean in the first place because the same British Army,
I don't necessarily
the same British Army went and took them from Africa to drop them off in the Caribbean. A lot of, not all of them, because I'm descended from people that are Moors or Arawak tribes and stuff like that, but a lot of them were only there in the first place. So you have taken the same army has taken these people to the Caribbean or to Brazil or to all these different places, and then 200 or 300 years after keeping them enslaved and this, that and the third, they've said, now you now have a responsibility to us to come and keep us safe on the basis that we'll give you citizenship. And then when they went and did that, they then reneged on the offer of citizenship.
But then this is why I'm saying, bro, that same said reason is why I'd remember the soldiers. That's that same reason, because the same way black people in the United in the Caribbean was used as cattle, they were manipulated and mentally almost belittled, and then put up, then belittled. It's the same thing that happened with white soldiers in the United States.
They were manipulated as well. I understand that.
And I'm not saying you should change your opinion, by the way, but I'm just saying.
Never going to.
Obviously, I'm just saying that. The only thing that I feel like you're overlooking is, whilst you can say that these soldiers did uphold this system, I felt like it wasn't a choice. I felt like everybody has a choice, but then if I tell you, bro,
do this or die or whatever,
I'm saying, like,
I understand what you're saying. They are pawns of the system. They're manipulated by the system as well.
Exactly.
So I understand that. However, how many white English soldiers have you met in your life?
Met or no?
Both.
I met her quite a lot, because they used to come to, like, we used to go to, like, Bear, with my primary school, we used to actually go to, like, Bear
barracks and all that kind of stuff. And what about how many police officers have you met or no?
I don't know any police officers, but I met a lot of police officers.
How many times do these people in these positions of power, soldiers, police officers, whatever, say to you, listen, my brother, it's me and you against the system, you know. We're together in this. We are against the system. What you know about those soldiers is they have been manipulated to be there. I know that. But they themselves do not know that. If I go and talk to a bunch of white soldiers right now that are coming from working class families or like upper working class, just below middle class families, so not the Eatons and all these kind of people, but like your average guys, maybe if they're from some South London council estate, they might understand what I'm saying, maybe. But the vast majority of them, when I tell them, listen, it's me and you against Farage, you know, them man are not hearing what I'm saying. They are not hearing what I'm saying. I only ever hear about people being groomed or people being manipulated or people being pawns when it's them. When it's them. When I see young black kids go in jail for young black kids that are struggling financially, and we can get into the colonialism and all that kind of stuff, and they go in, they need to make some dough, and there's somebody that's selling drugs on the block, and they say, listen, my bro, I can pattern you a little bit of this. I never hear that those people are manipulated, or those people are victims, or those people are...
I never hear that. We look at governments, and you hear the British government, American government talk about grooming gangs for ISIS. I never hear them talk about grooming gangs for World War I or World War II, because groomed, there was little kids, like there was kids who were 15, 16.
I wouldn't even wear the poppy to remember Caribbean dead soldiers, because in my opinion, you shouldn't have been there in the first place.
But it's different.
I understand they were manipulated and they were probably...
No, but
they shouldn't have been there in the first place.
They shouldn't. And a lot of... But the reason how I know this is because I remember my dad. I wish my dad was on. This is one of the episodes.
Should have brought him.
I would love my dad to be on, because my dad always used to say that his dad was too young to go to the Second World War. He was just too young. So my dad is a historian. He knows all about that world. He's like, but you could have went to this. You could have went a few years after. Said, oh yeah, I got common sense by then.
Yeah.
I got common sense by
My
then.
dad used to say to me, the black man's got no place in the white man's army. How do you think those soldiers are going to treat you when you go to the army? The average working class...
Any black person who fights in a British army,
Why?
As long as you still support Winston Churchill, I'm 100. As long as this country still supports Winston Churchill, I'm against it.
Why?
Because Winston Churchill said white blood shouldn't spill for black people. That's what Winston Churchill said.
So why would I support that army then?
Yeah, I don't think you should support the army, but it's the soldiers, bro.
Why would I support the soldiers?
Bro, again, we're going in circles, bro. We're going in soldiers.
I believe that many white people who were working class 100 years ago, they were the bottom of society. Mm-hmm. The reason some of them vote for Brexit or reform or different people like that now is because there's now a class underneath them.
Fact.
They are closer to us than they are to Farage and Cameron. They have the power to unionize and change the Brit. They've got the power. They've got all the guns. They've got the power. They've got the experience, but they don't, because they are more loyal to David Cameron, the person who keeps them in their place, than they are to us.
I agree.
So I'm not supporting them because they do not support me. I'm not talking about 100 years ago when they were manipulated. I'm talking about today. Google is free. Anyone can go and learn whatever they want to learn.
But when we talk about wearing a poppy, forget the £1, because let's say someone just asks me.
Yeah, for free. Yeah, fine. Even for free. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd pay not to wear it.
But I do understand your argument, because if you're a person of power and you do wear a poppy, you might encourage others to wear a poppy. For me, I don't feel like you should look at anyone and make your decisions based on anyone.
No.
Do your own research. But I do understand how they do manipulate young people with, influences. For me, my personal choice to wear a poppy isn't that I'm going out of my way to wear it. Mm-hmm. But if I had a poppy, I would have no problem wearing it, because I know what I'm wearing it for.
I have another problem. And I had this argument with, I had this conversation with Alice, I had a conversation with Ricky. You know Alice, you know Ricky, they're not racist people.
No, of course not.
But they are white.
Yeah.
And Brother Malcolm said that white people can be friendly, but never are friends. Right? And what he meant by that is...
I know what he meant. I know what you explained to them.
They struggle to not be the center. I have no problem remembering the black Caribbean soldiers. I have no interest in remembering the white soldiers. They were fighting for their own self-preservation. I've not seen these white soldiers come and fight for me.
That's true.
They're fighting for themselves.
That's true.
So that's
but they do fight for a land that I'm currently benefiting from.
Fair enough, but what I don't know, this is going to sound crazy, I don't like, we cannot compare what we know to what we don't know. So when people say, well, what would the world be like if Hitler did... I don't know.
We don't know. It might be better.
I don't know. The only reason that this country is so beneficial to us is because they stole all our shit in the first place using that same army. What would the world be like if you lot stayed in your fucking house and didn't come and invade Africa and just left everyone where they were? Maybe we'd be in a better place. We'll never know. So that argument doesn't wash for me.
Fact.
Do you know what I mean? I can't abuse my girlfriend in a penthouse and say, but I put you in a penthouse. That doesn't work. Do you know what I'm saying? So 100%, I'm not a bitch. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you man want to wear poppies and be a bitch, that's up to you. But for me, the other thing that I have is that when it comes to anything that's to do with my community and my people, I believe that there should be a space for my community and my people to make our own decisions. And so if there was some type of poppy, whether that was a black poppy for black people, or whether I wear a fucking palm tree on my chest, do you know what I mean? You're laughing, but why is a palm tree funny? Do you know what I'm saying?
No, but I'm saying because the palm tree isn't something that's worn.
Do you know what I'm saying? But like, when I'm deciding of how I'm going to remember my ancestors and my soldiers, it's down to me to make that decision, me or somebody in my community. What I don't like...
That's more though. Sorry, I cut you off.
What I don't like is them having the gall to tell me how to remember. Let's say I've got a great grandfather that died in the army. you can't tell me how to remember my great grandfather.
Tradition, though, isn't it?
I don't care about that. I just don't care. This is my grandfather. These are my people from my island. Do you know what I'm saying? Where we sent 15, 20,000 people to fight. We're an island of 100,000 people. That's a fair amount of our people. And you reneged on the deal. And you reneged on the deal. And now we know that there's a lot of issues in the black community, partly because of the black fathers that left the house. They say, oh, look at the black fatherlessness. Well, you got a lot of our fathers killed. You either killed them yourselves or led them to their deaths.
Of course.
Do you understand? So when I've put this to some of my white friends, they take real issue with, and I said to them, you are so used to being the decision maker in all parts of your life. The idea that there's a part where you're not the final decision maker makes you uncomfortable. Do you know what I'm saying? So tradition, we could start a tradition now. I'll wipe my ass with people's tradition. I don't give a fuck about your tradition. That's made up. Tradition is just made up. I can make something up right now on this podcast that in 100 or 1,000 years people are doing. Somebody else might not want to do it. So what if it's tradition? Who cares? What traditions of ours do they observe? The only reason that we don't have such strict remembered traditions is because, again, when they came to Africa, they destroyed all our traditions.
But here's the thing, though. I feel like your grievance is justified, 100% justified, but a lot of the grievances that you have, which I also have, I have. Let's not have this conversation.
We're having it.
Definitely not the person.
We're having it now. Good.
A lot of the grievances you have, I feel like, and for me, I look at it like this. I don't do anything for the greater good of another people. I do things for the greater good of me. And I also don't do things hoping that people help me. You know me already. Like, I genuinely, one of the things I hate is the fact that black people are so reliant on other races of people. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm like, the reason why I didn't even think about what you said is because I don't even think about how other people view my culture.
Yeah.
I think about how I view my culture, but also how we view it as a collective. Mm-hmm. The issue is because of the lack of order, and you can say the lack of order is down to white supremacy, which is true, 100% true. 400 years of dysfunction, you aren't going to get function within less time. That doesn't make sense. So obviously our system is broken, but I'm a person who's more thinking about fixing the dysfunction and creating that order. I
agree, and that's something we're about to talk about on the next topic of OnlyFacts, so do like the video, subscribe to that channel. But that starts with my focus being on my people.
100%.
I'm grieving for my people long before I grieve for your people.
100% right.
I agree with you're educated on black history, although you didn't know about the Paris liberation and stuff, but that's fine. But what I'm saying is that, no, I'm not, that's not even a dig. That's not even a dig. What I'm saying to you is, when you see a poppy, does your brain go to black soldiers or white soldiers?
My brain naturally, when I see a poppy,
honestly,
I'm very different though.
What does it go to?
When I think about when I look at a poppy, I think about World War I and a whole.
Okay.
And I think about, this is gonna sound the softest thing I've ever said, but I just think about mankind, and I think about the psychological evolution of mankind
based on the poppy.
Assume that's the first thing that comes to my mind, because I know, let me tell you why. Mm-hmm. Because I know the only reason for why, if you are like, remember we spoke about anthropology, and we spoke about the evolution of man, and you told me about the psychological evolution of man, as well as not just the physiological evolution of man. When I think about that, I think about the fact that mankind itself, I think about how far we've progressed, because something like that will never ever happen again. And I think I see the poppy as a symbol of humans' growth. That's how I see it. I don't see it as an individual.
The problem I have is that I spend a lot of time talking to and debating people that are racist, white supremacists, whatever.
I don't,
and a lot of their points are like, look at our architecture. In Africa, when we invaded you guys, you hadn't even discovered the wheel, you were very primitive, you didn't have great technology.
What Africa did they know?
This is the point I'm trying to get to. When they talk about intelligence, when they talk about the development of psychology, when they talk about the development of mankind, they've replaced all of those symbols with predominantly white or Western focused symbols.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? So people might, at school, people used to look at me funny because I can't remember the guy's name. My dad would tell me off, but there was a man in the Middle East that discovered Pythagoras' theorem before Pythagoras. And my dad would tell me off if I ever called it Pythagoras' theorem. Do you know what I mean? Because he's like, no, that's not what it's called. But through that lens, and I do think that things like the poppy help reinforce this, you're black, so you don't see it this way. But some of these Brexit man, some of these flag man, some of these reform man, they really hold the view that we are the moral center of the world. We are always in the right in any of these arguments. Look at us. What if that's not the case? Why is this black man wearing this poppy then? Why is this guy representing this flag? Do you know what I'm saying? So we are reinforced. The same reason I look at black man sideways. Even if you're Christian, that's fine. In fact, I don't think it's fine. That's a separate conversation. But if your Jesus is white, I'm looking at you extra funny because you are reinforcing. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I agree.
So two different people.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's a true statement. I would never allow myself to be a token black guy.
Yeah.
Never allow myself to do that. But the reason, and this is very, very, because I'm not an influencer, maybe I might have a different opinion about things, but I still look at things very individual. So if I hate
that.
Why?
I hate that. We're going to talk about being pro-black on the next topic, but when I was talking to one of my brethrens, he linked being pro-black to influence, and he linked that influence to money. He was saying that once man are making a certain amount of bread, that's when I can do it. I said, no, that's not. You can be pro-black from minimum wage. You are influencing black people or people in general, because if you go and steal something from the shop as a poor black person, you are influencing middle class white people. I'm just saying, you're not. No, I understand what you're saying. You're not an influencer. You're not an influencer, but you are still influencing people every day with your actions.
You misunderstood what I said. What I said. I said it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I understand my influence.
Yes.
When in an everyday basis,
okay.
1,000,000%. That's why I try to be as outwardly Caribbean as possible.
Yes.
But when I'm talking about in this specific instance, when it comes to wearing a poppy, majority of the time it is on a transactional basis. You don't see me putting
what transaction?
If I'm in a place, and let's say for example, I actually haven't worn a poppy in a long time. I haven't worn a poppy in a long time. But if I was in a situation where people were wearing poppies, and it was I was in an environment where everybody was wearing a poppy, then I would have no problem wearing that poppy. I'm not opposed to wearing it. And if I was in that environment, I would wear the poppy. What's
that got to do with what everyone else around you do?
Because in that specific situation, I can't be used as a token black person. You
could be.
How? There isn't.
If you're in an environment where everyone around you is white.
Yeah. How?
And they're all wearing poppies, and then you wear one, you could still be the symbol of somebody who's doing it.
But this is a symbol within the environment that I'm already in. So it's already the social norm. It's already the social norm in this specific environment. If it was then something that was broadcasted or televised, then I'd have a different opinion. Maybe, and I'll be honest with you, I'd have to think, would I still wear it? Probably. I probably would still wear it.
But it's like if you went to, I don't know, a sporting event or something like that, and you wore it at the sporting event, at the England game, but you might wear it home from said sporting event. So you're not only going to wear it there and take it off.
But here's the thing: I actually might still wear it in that situation as well.
That's what I'm saying. What you're doing in the situation is not necessarily relevant.
On the way home as well.
That's what I'm saying. So so that's where you might end up being the token black person, because you're saying I'm not a token black person. If I'm at an England game and everyone's white, then I can't be the token black person because everybody here is white. But I'm saying once you leave, you are carrying that with you.
I'm carrying the symbol. This is the thing which I very, very much dislike about black people.
Mm-hmm.
And
I hate black people as well.
Where is it ever the case where I'm the one telling you? But this is just one thing I do not like about black people on the whole, is the fact that I feel like a lot of the time people see theirs as one way.
Monolithic. Yes.
Yeah, there isn't.
That's not an issue with black people.
No. Maybe this is.
That's not your issue with black people. That's your issue with people.
I don't. The reason remember, I'm talking about. We haven't even gone to that topic yet.
I know, but it leads into the topic though.
The reason why I'm saying is because when we speak about my outward intentions. My outward intentions isn't just to improve humanity on a whole, because I feel like that's not my individual responsibility. I feel like
intentions and responsibility are not the same thing.
I feel like it's my responsibility to do something, and it's also my intentions. If my responsibility and intentions are the same, it makes my life so much easier because my responsibility and intentions are aligned. So you're right, though. Sometimes people's intentions are to sleep with one bag of women, but your responsibility is to look after your people.
I literally thought of the exact same example. Yeah, 100%.
But hopefully they're aligned. So my point is, the reason I said the whole
you got 10 pick me anyway.
The reason I said about the whole black people thinking about one thing is because when you said I could influence community or people by wearing a poppy, you are right. But if I'm influencing that individual and that's what that individual is taking from that message, then I'm not going to cocoon, I'm not going to try and move or adjust myself for your ignorance. If you want to know why I'm wearing a poppy, ask me.
Yeah, I agree.
And I will tell you why I'm wearing a poppy.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, after we have this conversation, I'll tell you, it's very similar to when you educated me on why you date the race that you date. When we had the conversation, I could have a
people do, yeah. They have a reason as to why.
Why you do. But then when you speak to me, I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
I told you, mad black women are like, oh, you only date a white girl because you hate your mum. Like, my mum's not black.
But my point is, you see how people can presume something.
But this is why I said your problem is with people, because as much as black people do that, white people do that.
No, but the reason why I can't say that they may, but we're not even talking about that. We're talking about that.
Exactly, we're not talking about that. This is what I'm saying about the poppy. When you're wearing the poppy, you as an individual have your own view of what you are representing.
100%.
If you are a Muslim, you believe in Jesus. However, if you walk down the street with a necklace on and the picture of Jesus on it, people are obviously going to assume you are a Christian, because that's not a problem with Muslim people. That's a problem with all people.
That is like, you remember the Dave Chappelle joke?
I mean, he's got a lot of jokes, my brother. You got to narrow it down.
He's like, where girls say that they're not a whore, but
they're dressed like a whore. Yeah, I can't take it apart.
Because I'm dressed this.
Yeah. If I'm walking down the street and I'm dressed as a police officer, and someone attacks you, and I'm like, well, just because I'm dressed as a police officer, don't mean I'm a police officer. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you are. I think that not that you're not mindful, but it's not good enough as a black man, especially as a Caribbean and Jamaican man, to do something and then say, well, the interpretation of this thing is not my responsibility.
But the reason why is, someone like myself, I'm actively, and we're going to get into this, I'm actively for my people. I'm actively, actively. Yeah. So if I wear a poppy, if Dr. Umar wore a poppy, for example, there is no way that's not going to be up for conversation. Correct. I'm not Dr. Umar. I'm not at that stage. But I can guarantee people who click this video, they expect me to be the one to not wear the poppy. Probably. To be the one to wear it.
Probably,
this would be great for you to watch as well, like watch it after. But the reason why I would wear a poppy is purely and simply because I genuinely do not see the two as the same. I don't feel like...
Even again, like, okay, you don't see the soldiers and the institution as the same. No. Fair enough.
No, but I was going to say, I don't see it as the same as what I do for the black community doesn't have an impact on whether because I've explained why I would wear a poppy.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like you can, not you personally, I don't feel like someone could extract a narrative based on me wearing a poppy and that overshadow or be like some umbrella and dark
I know what you're saying.
Over everything.
I know. That's the same thing I say about if I'm dating a girl that's white. If I act, but this is what people do. I could actively go out there and do things for black people, and people will try to denigrate everything that I've done because my girlfriend is white.
I think this is a bad example. Though.
Why is it a bad example?
I think it's a very bad example.
We'll talk about it on the next video.
Yeah.
But the thing is with the poppy as well. So your main thing is that the soldiers and the army are not the same thing. Completely. They're different institutions.
They're not different in terms of obviously the British soldiers
support the British Army.
The British Army.
Yes.
But I feel like there was we need to explain that already.
Yeah. My issue is as well is that, so you believe and understand the poppy to be a remembrance for all the British soldiers.
Soldiers.
Yeah, cool. There are also a shit ton of British soldiers that have done extremely bad things.
100%.
Just on an individual level. So I'm not comfortable.
World War I.
There were no British soldiers that did bad things during World War One. What fucking history books do you read?
When we talk about British soldiers...
Stop. The poppy isn't just for World War One.
I'm pretty sure it is.
No, it's not. Stop.
Can we?
There's nothing to go. There's nothing. I'll fact check it in a second. We've got a white English person here in the audience. Stop. No, stop. You've cut me off. Stop. It started with World War One. You are correct. The story of everything you've said so far is where it started. Today, that's not what it represents. It represents all soldiers. It's all soldiers. Yes, that's Afghanistan. That's Iraq. That's all of that's all of them. That's all of them. Take it and read the definition. I'm so glad we're recording.
They are now a symbol for.
They are now a symbol for everybody. So everybody that's all. So as much. So no. I'm still talking though. So hold on a minute. So that's why I will not. If it's just World War One, for the reasons I've said, I still wouldn't wear it. But we're also remembering all the soldiers that have done all the bad things of all subsequent wars. That's all over the world. That's all of Africa. That's Sudan.
That's facts. That's a fact.
The same man that killed Gaddafi, the same man that killed these man killed Saddam Hussein.
That's a fact.
Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not wearing this symbol for all soldiers.
Based on that, I've slightly changed my mind.
Bro.
No, but you know why?
We've been recording for half an hour.
No, but it took you so long for you to tell me.
Because you kept cutting me off. But you came here unprepared. I'm sorry. I assumed that as a journalist, you would have done your research.
I'm assuming as a country, they would allow it to make sense. Poppies...
And what have I told you before? What have I told you before? Say it. What have I told you before? Say it. Say it. Say it. If a white man asks you to say it, say it. Say it. Say the sentence.
Well, am I new to white people?
Yes. You trust white people more than I do. Because you're saying, as a country, I would assume they would tell you what? What have they ever told you?
Not tell me.
What?
You gotta understand, yeah. Let me tell you why that's. You know why that? And now I'm going into a rant. The other one.
Yeah, go on.
The country is a disgrace. Let me tell you why, yeah. Because if we're being honest, with World War One and World War Two specifically,
yes,
they have taken arguably justifiable wars. Arguably, I'm not gonna say they're justifiable, but I'm gonna say. With World War One,
if it's framed against Hitler, fine.
No. With World War One specifically, this wasn't them invading territory. This wasn't them holding people against their will in other territories, like they've done when it comes to colonization.
Yeah.
So they've taken an arguably justifiable war and put a symbol for that justifiable war, which is taken from that arguably justifiable war because soldiers died.
Yep.
I explained it already.
Yep.
With poppies and all of that.
Yep.
They've taken that and then they literally just said, "Cool,
we're going to expand it to everyone else."
Bro, do you know how sick that is?
Stop. No. You asked me a question. Stop. Do you know why you're an idiot?
Why?
Because when they were spreading colonialism, and we had our own people that fought back against them. Has this country ever said, let's have a remembrance for those brave soldiers that pushed back against us and told us that spreading what we were doing was wrong and whatever? Did they ever do that? So why the fuck would they do that for these other people? What are you talking about? How can you expect them to do that? How can you expect that?
But
you're holding them to an unrealistic set of standards. They've never behaved this way. This group of people that you're talking about has never behaved this way.
That's true, but here's the thing. Remember, the soldiers have also died in, like, if you're British, the soldiers who died in World War One and World War Two have also died for, the great the advancement of Britain.
That's the story.
That's the story.
Fine.
So
if that's what you believe,
because that was so significant, they were just gonna remember just those people. That's what I always thought.
That still wouldn't be acceptable, but I understand what you're saying.
Because I thought that.
So this is why I said you cannot trust it. You're right. They did a sleight of hand. I think a lot of people are walking down the street of poppies believing what you believe. Yes, I think a lot of people. Because when we're in primary school, we got poppies. It was all about World War One, World War Two. They were not telling us about Afghanistan, Iraq, all the rest of it. But we don't know most of what these men do.
And do you know why that's
so I'm not wearing a poppy that represents people that I don't know what they do.
You know why that's so mad? Because now it's so mad. When you think about...
They're the same people that killed Maurice
When you
Bishop.
think about Bloods and Crips, yeah? And you think about Black Panthers, and you think about the fact that they will take
Yes.
the crack epidemic...
Correct.
And just an isolated phase in time and spread it across the whole...
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
...of the Black Panthers. So all of the positive is irrelevant. Because the moment that you started to...
gain influence and affect government, whatever. Yep, they killed Fred and all of
that, and all of a sudden, that then went.
That's what I said. These are the same soldiers that came and killed Maurice Bishop in the 80s.
But the reason why I'm saying that is because you've pretty much done the reverse.
Correct.
With black people, you kind of cocooned it all into one.
Shane, you're going to make me say it again. Are you new to? Do you not know how these men move? This is how they move.
I did.
Why are you surprised by this?
Did you not think?
She's not in the video.
I'm just asking a question. Do you not think it was just about World War One and World War
No.
II? You knew your whole life was always about more than World War One and World War II, and you've known that.
Yes.
That is mad. So why use the poppy? That is so mad. That is so mad, bro. That is so mad. I know why.
That's like saying, why does someone have a fridge magnet of the London Eye when instead of all of London? It's a symbol. But this is what people do with symbols. This is what they do. This is what they do.
That is sad still.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen a fantastic Nick Joe Francis moment here. We've made a breakthrough to the young brother. We have my tea.
That is mad.
This has gone from an angry tea to a victory tea.
No, but this is the thing. I'm a fallibilist, right? So for me, I don't mind being wrong.
No, of course.
I don't actually. I learned something today.
Yeah.
I genuinely did not know that, bro.
You tried to gaslight me though. You're like, oh, why didn't you tell me that before? Like, I assumed you knew. You're coming to arguing about the shit. I assumed you knew about it.
Bro, I thought it was common sense, bro. Because the symbol is from World War I.
You're attributing common sense to a group of people who have never demonstrated common sense. Don't do that.
But that's manipulation, though. Obviously, I know what you're gonna say.
Duh.
It's mad, bro. I didn't even know that. My mind is blown. Now, because of that.
Yeah, go on my Instagram story and vote no.
I'm one of the people who's gonna actively say, and this is where the titles come.
This is why. Remember, we were in work. Go on, give me the title. Give me the title.
No human being should ever wear the poppy.
He's gone more extreme than me. I just said I conscientiously object for myself.
No, but this now I thought it was just what.
So imagine man that are coming over from Afghanistan, man are trying to tell them. But this is what I thought you knew, because you said immigrants are coming in, potentially coming in from countries where these soldiers have been fighting, and they still want them to wear the poppy. That's what we said earlier in the video. So that's why I thought you knew.
That's why I said Matic.
I understand, yeah, but no, all over the world. Yeah.
I didn't know they done that still. They played a chess play there still.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you guys think. Like I say, I'm not anti-poppy, I'm just anti-poppy for myself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not anti-white women, you're just anti that for yourself.
I'm anti-poppy though. That's a mad thing, fam. Every single soldier. That's mad. Every soldier. So that means every soldier that's mad.
Even the ones in the wars where they were clearly in the wrong. Because like you said, you're picking the war where you can make it the strongest case that they were morally in the right.
That's why you worked your brain there still. You done the one where people will definitely be on your side.
Yeah.
Oh, against Hitler.
This is what they do. This is what they do. Do you know what I'm saying? They'll say, do you believe in family values? And they'll be like, yeah, I believe in family. Do you think men should look after their kids? Yeah, I believe in. Well, these immigrants. Do you know what I'm saying? And then they just go off on, this is what they do, bro. This is what they do. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let us know any other content that you want to see. And yeah, man, we've seen young brother teachable moment, bro. I'm very happy with this. I'm very happy with this video.
I'm happy as well. I'm glad I learned something today. I'm glad I learned something.